Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. In today's video we want to talk about Immortals Fenyx Rising, the new Ubisoft franchise game that is already getting a lot of heat due to its visible similarity to the already legendary Zelda Breath of the Wild. But before continuing, as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give the bell a click so you don't miss out on a thing. This isn't exactly an earth-shattering revelation, as many of the great games we play today are based on or taken from previous games. Imitation is the best form of flattery, right?
That man's an imposter! That man is the imposter!
It's inevitable, and it doesn't only happen in the gaming industry, but also in the film industry, music industry, and many more. But there are cases that inspiration has been taken to such an extent that the games are just shameless copies. Step forward, Immortals Fenyx Rising from Ubisoft. Just playing the trailer, you might be mistaken that this is a new installment of The Legend of the Zelda Breath of the Wild, but no. The well-known portal GameStop released this video showing the similarities in certain situations and mechanics, and honestly, it's not hard to think that this is just a reskin of Link's adventures. From the moment the trailer came out, many fans complained about the lack of creativity of the Ubisoft team. But of course, there are also others who defend them, with plenty of justification, saying that it could be argued that Zelda is just a reworking of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, from which it recycles many mechanics, for example, the use of towers in game, climbing, and much more. Having said this, we have played Immortals Fenyx Rising, and it seems like a great game to us, and the best of Ubisoft in a long time. For us, Immortals Fenyx Rising looks like the start of a successful new franchise for Ubisoft because it has a very good storyline, something that in Assassin's Creed Valhalla is conspicuous by its absence. And hopefully they will release more good games in the future. Now we aren't expecting this every year or every release, but it would be great if this game signals a return to form for Ubisoft, because they did make great games in the past. What is also clear is that if you liked Zelda, put the hate aside, and while we wait for the second part of Breath of the Wild, this is a great game that will make you fall in love from the very beginning again, and it will make the wait much more enjoyable. So we already mentioned that it isn't the first time this has happened. So without much more ado, here's our list of games that just blatantly ripped off other more successful games. So like an off-brand watch you picked up at the market, get ready for some vaguely familiar but much more poorly executed gameplay. The success of Minecraft is incredible, and it's still on top after a season with many ups and downs. Remember, this came out in 2009. The game's characteristic graphics and gameplay continue to attract people from all over the world, and so another studio decided to launch a CD version for mobile called Survivalcraft, which we don't want to explain too much because we'd prefer you to see this cheeky, cheap copy. "2020 will certainly be remembered, among other things, for being the year of Among Us."
What the fuck?
The Inner Sloth Games game has had us spending many hours playing despite having very simple mechanics. But if a game is good, there will be many copies that will try to copy you. And that is exactly what happened with Murder Us, a cheap copy of the game that has nothing but terrible reviews. However, there are still many people playing it and eating tons of advertising in the process. Did you play it? Everyone, whether you love it or hate it, knows that Fortnite is one of the most groundbreaking and popular games of our generation. The Epic's game more alive than ever. But other companies, instead of trying to come up with something better or more innovative, decided to blatantly copy the game, and here is a prime example of that in Fortcraft, a Chinese copy of Fortnite made without any shame that coincidentally also has had a great success with its players. Why? To answer that, we would need to make another video. From the moment Uncharted came out, it's been a resounding success. The first game went on sale in 2007 for the PlayStation 3 and gave us the character of Nathan Drake. We're still waiting for a new game in the saga no matter how much Naughty Dog said that they weren't going to do anymore. But we aren't giving up hope. But imagine this, what if Nathan Drake had been born in Saudi Arabia? Wonder no more, because this is exactly what Saudi studio Semaphore did and the result is unearthed. The copy is stunning, and they didn't even skimp on copying the logo. What do you think? Now, Mario Kart is such a blockbuster that many studios try to make their own version of, like Crash Team Racing or Team Sonic Racing. But then, Mo Kart arrived and laughed in the face of Nintendo because it was a shameless copy to such an extent that the circuits were literally the same. Even the music was eerily similar. The game was launched for Android with great success. They must have thought that no one was going to notice it since it was a different audience. But nothing could be further from the truth. Nintendo sued them and the game is no longer available in the Play Store. Fox teamed up with EA Games and decided to create a game in 2001 based on the famous series of Our Yellow Friends, then stipulated time in order to earn money. At first glance, if you like the adventures of The Simpsons, it's an attractive game that might interest you. But of course, after the success of Crazy Taxi, why wouldn't this game do well? The developers of Crazy Taxi decided to sue Fox for this blatant plagiarism, and surprisingly, they won. But Fox wanted to settle the matter privately, so they surely gave out a large number of suspiciously fat envelopes to keep the people of Sega, creators of the Crazy Taxi saga, happy. And that's all we have for you today, guys. Tell us what you think about Immortals Fenyx Rising. Do you think this is just a blatant copy of the Zelda Breath of the Wild series? Or are you one of those who think it's the other way around? And if you can think of a more blatant copy that we might have missed, leave us a like if you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.